Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Cal Gould. We have another interview here on the history of ball hockey. Today is a rather unique, or I should say, special interview, as we have a person that has been playing for a long time in the sport, and he is involved in more than one way. And you will soon find out how he has influenced others that he's closely related to also become involved. So let's find out who we're speaking with. Who are you and where are you from?
My name is Guy Lunnin, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta.
What do you have of early memories of playing unorganized ball hockey or street hockey? What are your earliest memories and that you can share?
Being 4 or 5 years old, playing on the streets with the rest of our friends, using snow, building snow up for our goalposts.
What area were you living in, or what area was this? And was it just the neighborhood kids, or what was it?
Just neighborhood kids. I lived in the Britannia area back then.
Were these friends that were from school, or like, in other words, were they the same age as you? Like, were they friends from school, or did you just have anybody that wanted to played?
Well, I had neighborhood kids. There's girls. They played ball hockey too. They came out and played football with us, everything. So, but yeah, it was neighborhood kids or some from school too. So.
Did you play any organized sports other than ball hockey before you got involved in ball hockey? Did you play organized sports?
Yeah, I played football. I played Bantam football, and I played high school football at Jasper Place.
How did you get involved in the sport of ball hockey? What I mean by that is, did you join with a group of friends? Did you get invited? Did you answer a newspaper ad? How exactly did you get involved in organized ball hockey?
There was a guy that I worked with at Safeway back in 1980, and his name was Rick Milton. And he was organizing a ball hockey team, and there was 5 or 6 of us at the store, and then he had 5 or 6 friends, and the Edmonton Rogues were formed.
How old were you at that time, and were all the players of similar age as you, or were they different ages?
I was 20 going on 21, and most of them were all around the same age as me or younger.
And what was the name again of the team?
The Rogues.
What league was that in?
The Edmonton Ball Hockey, EBHA, I guess, or EBHA, yes, yeah.
And those were all friends that were brought in with the contact that you had?
Yeah.
Now, what about other teams you played? Did you stay on the Rogues? Did the team disband, or what exactly happened with the teams afterwards that you joined?
I played with the Rogues for 6 years. And then I one day met up with Pete Small. He was shopping at Safeway and came in and recognized me from ball hockey. And that next year, 1986, started playing with the Vandals. And then 1990 was the Express. 94 played with the West Stars. 95 to, started with the KC Trojans then.
There's a lot of teams that you were involved in, but that initial few years that you were in the EBHA with the Rogues, tell me a little bit about how the team was performing. What were the levels that you played? I believe in that time, in the early days, there were no levels. There was just one category. And then later on, there were additional levels added in 1987. So prior to that, 1987, you were involved with one team. Tell me about the experiences you had with that team.
Well, that team we used to play. The first game I ever had was against the Panama Reds. I don't know if you remember that name, but the Edmonton Playboys were in that division. The Nordiques were there, so we played all those teams back then. And yes, we weren't in the level that they were. So games were 7-0 or something like that, and not in our favor.
Who was the organizer of the team? And did they stay the organizer of the team the whole time that you were on the team?
No, Rick Milton did the first year, and then I think I took over after that. So the next 4 or 5 years, I was running it.
In the teams that you joined afterwards, did you stay in the EBHA throughout that whole entire time?
The 6 years with the Rogues was in the EBHA. The first year with the Vandals was EBHA, and then we moved to Capital City starting in 88, 87, 87.
And
Steve.
you stayed there, of course, when the two leagues merged in 1994. Did you stay on what team were you on then? Was it the Express?
Nope, I was on the West Stars in 1994.
Okay. And you stayed with them for a few more years?
No, I played 1 year with them, and then KC Trojans. Sam Najmuddin was with the Trojans then, so went with him.
What position did you play mostly?
I was a forward, so all three forward positions. So,
how would you describe your style of play?
Lunchbox. I would come and I would work hard all the time, but some teams I had some hands with. I could score some goals, but a lot of the times I was just doing all the work in the corners, getting the ball out to the guys that could put it in the net. So.
Now, in comparison to other organized sports that you played, what was your impression of the ball hockey organization, both the organizations you were involved in? How would you compare them to other organized sports?
Ball hockey was kind of rough at the start. Like everybody, I think it was just a learning thing for everybody. But as it went on, it got better and better. You know, Steve Posovic ran a good league with the Capital City one. So it got better and better each time we went along. So.
Were you involved in the sport in any other way, such as a ref, a coach, a manager, executive, anything along that line? Any additional involvement?
Not until I got into the minor program. And then when I joined the minor program, like Jeff Romaine, once Cody started playing ball hockey, Jeff Romaine kind of wrangled me in to come help out with Edmonton minor ball hockey. So.
There are different levels of play in ball hockey. As I mentioned earlier, 1987 was the introduction of Tier 2. What levels of ball hockey did you play, and what was the highest level you played, and how long did you play?
We were mostly in Div 1 or 2. Like the Rogues was, like I said, when that first started, we were just playing all the teams. You know, there wasn't that many teams, so you played them all. And then the last part of that was probably Div 2, and then when we got to the Vandals, it was Div 2 the first year, and then we were in Div 1 the rest of the time. So. And then the Express was Div 1 too. So
you stayed in Division 1 pretty well for the remainder of the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, probably.
When you played in those different levels, did you manage to had the opportunity to play in provincials, regionals, or any kind of national tournaments?
We played in. Once we got going with the Vandals in 86, 87 was in Capital City. We went to provincials. 88, like we started going to all of them pretty much every year. So,
do you have a favorite memory of playing ball hockey? Like, I'm going to ask you about two types of memories. I'm going to ask you, do you have a favorite individual memory, and do you have a favorite memory as being involved in a team, like that you would say is your favorite team memory?
In 89, winning the league championship, that was a great memory because that was the first one that we won, or I've been a part of, to win. And then winning again in 1990 with the Express, so it's kind of a back-to-back thing. And then probably my other one was going to nationals in 1994 with the West Stars. So
where was that played?
That was in St. John's, Newfoundland.
Have you been to any other national tournaments or witnessed any national tournaments? And if so, how would you compare that national tournament, organized, and how would you compare them?
Well, it's funny. All the years that I played, I was only in one nationals. That was in 1994 as a player. But I've gone to so many with the minor program. And then now that Cody's been playing, I've been to nationals, probably another 4 or 5 of those. So.
What would you say, how they compare? I mean, from that first time you went in 94, or maybe you watched nationals, how would you say they compared? Is there an improvement? Is it the same? How would you compare them?
I don't know. I always thought when you're playing, you just seemed like the ball hockey was better back then than it is now. Now you witness it, but a lot of the players that play today, they're just as good, if not better, than what we were back when. So,
Are you still involved in ball hockey right now? And if so, how long do you plan to be involved?
right now I'm not doing anything with ball hockey. Cody's moved on to play with the Savages, and they don't need any coaches there, so I'm not doing that anymore. So,
What family members do you have that are involved in the sport?
well, my wife Donna, we met through ball hockey. So our first whatever was coming to watch her best friend, which her brother was named Brian Awashchuk. You know who he is. And we just started going out right then, and then she's been involved in ball hockey ever since, and that's since 1985. So,
Is Donna there with you today?
yes, I will let her
on in.
Thank you.
Hi,
How you doing? Let's find out what your name is and where you're from.
my name is Donna Lunnin, and I'm from Edmonton as well.
Now, he mentioned that you both met at ball hockey, and how exactly, could you give me your perspective on what went on?
Yeah, a friend of mine who we've been friends since grade 3, her brother played on a ball hockey team, and she said, come out and watch. So I went with her to watch a game and saw a guy, and he asked me out, and the rest is history, I guess.
So then that's your connection to ball hockey, but how did you become involved in the sport? What exactly did you get involved with?
Well, of course, I used to go watch Guy all the time. And then when we had Cody, he started playing when he was 5. And the minor league was just starting up really in Edmonton. I mean, it was kind of going, but there wasn't many divisions. So he played with older kids. And then when Guy got on the executive through Sam and then through Jeff Romaine, they asked if I would come onto the board. And so, yeah, I volunteered on the board for, well, as long as he played ball hockey, so for another 13 years. And then I quit on the kids, working for the kids, but then I was working for the men's league.
What were you doing with them on the men's league side of it?
I do admin.
Now, let's go back a little bit. When you were saying you were on the volunteer for 13 years, what was your position? What were some of the things, responsibilities you had?
Well, technically I was the secretary, but, we were sort of in charge of fundraising and, registering the kids and dealing with issues and everything like that. Yeah, tournament host committees.
Any other involvement? Did you have anything in the game involvement that you were with, like anything there?
I used to timekeep. I was asked if I wanted to play, but I'm not really a team sport person kind of thing. So I never did play, but I did timekeep.
So tell me about this timekeeping. Was that for the kids, the women, the men? Exactly when did you do it and how often? And what are some of your memories of doing it?
I time kept for the kids. I time kept for the men's league. I did a little bit for the women's league. Yeah, it was just, I did some tournaments. Yeah, it was good. It was, you get to be around the people and get exposed to different, teams and different people and meet different people. And it was good.
Let's look at it from that perspective. You obviously watched a lot of ball hockey as a spectator, but being involved at the game level, on the floor level, we'll call it, an off-ice official, you obviously got to know the referees. What were some of the finer points that you learned about the sport being involved that way as opposed to just watching it?
Oh, I mean, you definitely, you see the game from a referee's point of view. When teams get upset and think things are one-sided or whatever, you definitely see from a different perspective. Yeah, I don't know. It just, It was just kind of fun. It was kind of fun to see the game on both sides, right?
And you had to operate the penalty door, I'm going to guess, from time to time. So that meant you had to hear the commentary by the players inside the penalty box from time to time.
Lots of commentary, lots of trying to fight in the box. So yeah, that was always fun. Just step back and just, sort of be the passive aggressive and just stand there in between them and and hope there's no punches thrown.
So not many people get to experience that aspect of the sport. Not many, that's for sure. There's a lot more that are players and a lot more that are coaches and what have you. There's not many timekeepers. There's usually only one or two per arena, and that's great that you were involved in that. Yeah. Now, you said that you did administration for the league. What type of function does that involve doing?
It would be, well, in the very beginning, it was mail outs with the snail mail, or sending out registrations, taking in registrations, compiling team lists. Just keeping track of money, who's paying their fees and who isn't, and suspensions, stuff like that.
Do you have any favorites of memories of something that happened in ball hockey, whether it was a family member or something that you were involved in? Any favorite memories?
One of my best memories is I was actually timekeeping for a game that Cody was playing in. I believe it was a provincial tournament, and he won player of the game. So I got to be right there when he, got his trophy and everything. So that was kind of fun.
Are you still involved in ball hockey?
I am, actually. I was working with the men's league. And then up till about two and a half years ago, the other kids league that had since branched off, something happened to it and they closed down. So we had a bunch of parents and players in the adult league come to the men's league and say, will you start another kids league? And so they came to me and they knew that I had so much history with the other league and asked if I would help start a new kids league. And so I said yes. So I'm totally immersed in that right now, trying to get this new league up and going.
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about kids. You say you have a family member that's been involved in ball hockey that's other than your husband. And who is that?
That is our son, Cody.
Is he here today?
Yes, he is.
Let's invite him into the interview here.
All right.
Good afternoon. What's your name and where are you from?
My name's Cody Lunnin, and I'm from Edmonton, Alberta as well.
And what are some of your memories as a youth, whether you played organized or unorganized street hockey or ball hockey? Do you have any memories of that when you were young?
A little bit of both. So a lot of street hockey and stuff like that as a kid, obviously, just with neighborhood kids, friends I played hockey and ball hockey with and that kind of thing. And then, I've played 1999 was my first year of minor. And so I've been playing for 23 years now, and I'm still playing.
And did you play other organized sports other than ball hockey?
Yeah, a little bit. So like every other kid, I think I played soccer for a few years until I was 10 or 11 or something like that. I've played ice hockey since I was, same thing, 4 or 5 years old, about the same time I started ball hockey. I played a year of baseball, did some track in school, and a little bit of a couple different things.
How did you join the ball hockey league that you first played in? You mentioned it was minor. How exactly did you get involved? Were friends involved, or what happened?
My first year, no. So I was 5, and then my dad was my parents have been heavily involved in ball hockey for quite a long time. So right when I turned 5, my mom and dad registered me in the minor league, and I didn't know any of the kids that I was playing with. Dad wanted to coach and got me into it, and so didn't know anybody coming in. I've made obviously countless friendships since then, but when I first started, I didn't know anybody playing.
And how old was that again, and what age groups?
I was 5, so that would have been novice. So I played my first year underage because it was technically didn't start until you were 6, but I played underage my first year. So that would have been a novice.
So you played with players that were older than you?
Yeah. That age group was 6 to 9 years old.
Do you remember the name of your first team that you played on?
Yeah, because it still drives my dad nuts, but it was the Maple Leafs was the first team I ever played with.
I'm sorry, I had a bit of a break there. Did you said make beliefs?
Maple Leafs. Like, that's what, yeah.
All right. I just wanted to
But
make sure
yeah,
I
it
was
should
doing-
be.
all right. I was having a tough time hearing you there. All right. And so what other teams did you play with after that?
So we ran the Maple Leafs while we were in novice, and then when we moved up into, I think it was minor was the next age group up from that then. Dad got to pick the team name, so we were the Red Wings, and then so we ran the Red Wings through the rest of the minor levels until we hit 18, and then we started in the men's league as the Red Wings and ran that team until we folded. And so after that, I went to the Extreme for one season, and then I've been with the Edmonton Whale and then the Edmonton Whalers, and then the Edmonton Top Whale for a bit, and now I'm with the Edmonton Savages.
Were you involved in the sport other than a player? Did you do any other activities in the sport?
Yeah, so I did a little bit of reffing for about 5 or 6 years when I was 13 till about 17 or 18. So about 5 years or so I reffed. Did a little bit of everything. I did some minor, did some men's and a little bit of women's as well. And then my dad and I have coached in the junior program together as well.
And once you joined the men's league, what was the highest level that you played at?
So my first year that I came in, I played, I missed part of it, I guess. After I turned 18, I played half a year with the Edmonton Mustangs, which was Div 3. And then when the Red Wings came in the next year with the rest of my buddies, we played in Div 2. And then I've been in Div 1 since I joined the Extreme, was that about 5 or 6 years ago? So I've been in Div 1 since that.
In all of the levels that you played, including minor, did you play in provincials, regionals, or nationals?
Yeah, so I've played in, 5 junior nationals, I think, probably another 5 or 6 Western Challenge Cups in the minor program. I played in 3 world championships with the minor program. I think I've played in 6 provincials and men's, and then we just got back from our 4th nationals here in August, and we're going to nationals again next year. So that'll be my 5th men's nationals.
Yeah, not many players have that kind of resume, or at least not that kind of resume for that long period of a time. So I congratulate you on that. So let's ask you the question. What is a favorite memory you have of ball hockey as a player or any other, like as a team? Maybe?
My favorite memory is probably when we won U16 Worlds. We got smacked up by the Slovakian team pretty good in the first game of the round robin. I think it was, I don't know, 6-1 or 6-2 or something like that. And then we worked our way back around in the tournament and met them again in the gold medal game, and we beat them 3-2 in overtime. So that would be my favorite memory for sure.
That would be. That's I'm sure it's indelibly stamped in your memory. And you said you're still involved in ball hockey. Well, let me ask this question, and it's I know it's a loaded question, but how long do you expect to be involved?
Oh, as long as I can be, as long as my body holds up for it. I don't know. I see how long my dad played for, and
whenever he finishes, try to go for longer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's only finished, I guess. Well, he played in Masters Nationals, I guess, in 2018. So that was 30 some years he played. So hopefully I can get to that number.
That is fantastic. Hey, let's get all 3 of you here together, and I'm going to ask a few more questions that I want to have all of you give me your own perspectives on. So, Guy, I'm going to start with you. You give me your perspective on this. What do you think has made the greatest impact on the growth of the sport?
Players, like everybody that's played. I can give you a couple of names like Doug McCarthy, Malcolm Stinson, all those guys. They're all still playing ball hockey. Makes everybody else want to come back. Makes everybody else want to come back and play the game, keep playing it, and make it grow bigger. So.
And Donna, what do you think has made the greatest impact on the sport, on the growth of the sport?
I just think really ball hockey goes one of 2 ways. Either you love the sport or you hate the sport. And the people who love the sport stick around forever. And they're the greatest ambassadors, right? Like they're the ones that word of mouth, because we don't really advertise a lot, but it's just because it's such a great sport. The people who love it are the ones that grow the sport.
Good answer. And Cody, tell me what you think has made the greatest impact on the growth of the sport.
I think getting a little bit more notoriety, like we're seeing some guys come up that, well, I guess the first one that comes to mind for me is having like an Alex Burrows that played at the world level in the men's league. And then as well, having some of the other guys like Dawson Mercer and some of these kids that have come up that have played ball hockey at the junior world level and now are succeeding in hockey that seems to be a little bit more well known. So I think getting some more notoriety and having some of those guys talk about it and either get it in the like local media kind of thing, or even sometimes in the national media, it helps grow the game when more people know about it and more people kind of like to talk about the sport that have a little bit more of a platform to speak about.
Now, Guy, what advice would you give to someone that wants to play ball hockey? Assuming they have never played it before, what advice would you give to them?
Find a group of friends that you like to, spend time with. And this is a sport that you can do that, right? You don't have to be an all-world player to play this game. Anybody can play ball hockey. So. And
Donna, what do you think? What advice would you give?
Oh, absolutely. I tell everybody, I said it's the best sport. If you can, if you can run and I don't know, it's like I tell them it's a great sport and to absolutely come on in and try it and give it a go.
What about you, Cody? What advice would you give to someone?
Same kind of thing. Just get out and try it. Like so many people love playing street hockey that might not necessarily play ball hockey. They might just play ice, but they're out playing out on the street with their friends. It's just give it a try. I know I've had that conversation a lot with people that play like inline or lacrosse and stuff like that, and they kind of knock ball hockey. So my advice would be give it a try and just get out and play.
Guy, is there a person that if they were here right now that you would want to personally thank for getting you involved in the sport of ball hockey?
Well, that Rick Milton that started me up way back when. I never see him anymore. I don't even know where he is, but he's the one that started me playing ball hockey, and I've just loved the game ever since. So.
And Cody, I think this one's a pretty clear answer.
Yeah.
Who would you say you would thank?
My parents, but my dad, I guess, specifically just from like a coaching level and helping me fall in love with the game from that kind of point of view.
And Donna, who can you thank for getting you involved?
You know what? Honestly, I have to be honest. It would be Steve Posovic because he's the one who offered me a job originally with the kids league and the men's league, and because up to that point I was volunteering a little bit and I was doing the timekeeping, but he actually offered me the job and got me immersed right into the sport.
Now, this question, anybody, there's no right answer, but basically, the sport of ball hockey now has an international body, the ISBHF, International Street and Ball Hockey Federation. There are numerous levels of play in men's, A, B, C, etc., women's, and there's even an included men's and women's masters championships that are played. Masters is not a caliber play, it's more or less the age category of the players involved. So knowing that there's now world championships that have been going on since 1996 at all those levels, including minor programs and junior level, what do you hope to see for the future of ball hockey, Guy? What do you hope to see?
I just hope that it gets bigger and bigger all the time. I wish it'd be put on TV a little bit more, like Sportsnet. They could show some of these games. If they showed it once, I think people would find out, it's not that bad of a game. It's not slow. It's fast, especially at that level when you're watching the world championships and all that. We've been to 4 of them, and that level of play is just awesome. So I just think it should get more exposure, but it's TV that's got to pick that up. So,
Donna, what do you hope to see for the future of the sport?
Honestly, I would like to see more recognition for Western Canada. We're still a little bit in the sort of mired in the mud of Eastern Canada. Eastern teams are the best teams. We need to get more recognition out for Western Canada. There is a lot of really high caliber, top quality players that play, from the minors right up to the men's and the women's. But for some reason, Western Canada is kind of viewed as not as strong as Eastern teams. I really would like to see it stronger in Western Canada.
Right. And Cody, what do you hope to see for the sport?
I'd love to see it in the Olympics at some point. I think that would be massive for the game. I think that would get it. Obviously, the game's growing in general, and then it's growing on the world stage. But I think if there was an ability to get it into the Olympics, that would kind of take it to another level.
Thank you very much. Is there anything any of you would like to share on a topic that I did not discuss or ask you a question of?
My dad's pretty humble about himself. He missed quite a bit, Cal. There's a bunch of so he's played, obviously, like I said, he kind of went up to about 2001 or so, and he played full time till about 2015 or 2016, and then, like I said, he played and coached in some Masters nationals. He was on the member of the minor league board. He was a vice president for X number of years, coaching in the men's league. I think he skipped over, and then he was also an assistant coach with the U20 Team Canada in 2016 as well.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I agree with you on that. He's being humble and modest, because I've already spoken to a lot of players that he played with, and I was going to tell you straight out, they said they would take him any day of the week on the team to go the whole distance, as opposed to the guy that's going to maybe go out there and, you know, do the flash play once or twice. It's the steady and solid player is what everyone knows. Just because one guy goes out there and scores a big goal at the right time, you know, that's great, but to be there to make the play happen, that's what you need. And I agree with your assessment on that. He's he didn't he didn't mention some of his great qualities.
Yeah.
All right. I thank you very much. This is a very unique interview we've had, having all three of you as a family involved in the sport, and in different categories too. It's not like you're all men. There's three of you here that are and different ages too. So thank you very much for your time.
Thanks a lot, Cal.
Thanks, Cal.